Hi, everybody. Welcome to Around the World with Ray. My name is Ray McAllister. I hold this crazy extravaganza. I suppose you're wondering who I've got tonight. I have, you might say, a young man, 11 years old. He's a boxer. You know what? Then I have his dad, which is, in fact, I'll be honest, I know these people from my crossing guard at Haviland School. And of course, there's the coach that trained all these people. Marcus, tell me about yourself. How did you start boxing?
I started boxing because I always loved the sport, watching it on TV, and my dad used to box when he was little, and so we went to the gym one time and they signed me up, and I just really fell in love with the sport. I love boxing.
Now, what gym is this? Is this at school or?
No, it's in Pontiac. It's
Oh,
yeah.
like a boys' club that they had there, or?
No, it's at Stecker Youth Enrichment.
Huh.
That's where he started off at. Yeah.
It's a nonprofit organization that started in 1973, so it's been around for a while.
I would say this is the coach, folks. I thought his name is Scott, and he trained this little guy. You know, one thing about this one, these things are hard. How come they're hard, Coach? Is this?
Well, actually, when it takes a punch, it's just those are good sparring gloves. So you want a firm cushion, because if it's loose padding in there, your knuckles will push through the padding, and then you'll be able to feel them through the glove. So you want some firm, stiff padding behind those. Especially
Just tell me this: are regular gloves this hard, or are they softer?
The competition gloves are actually much smaller than those, so those ones are better for hand protection, wrist protection, so he doesn't incur any injuries while he's practicing.
Tell me this one: you bought your championship belt here. How old were you when you won this belt?
Actually, I won this year in February. Yeah, it was for the national championship. We went down to Missouri and I fought twice and I won the belt.
How many was in competing for this coveted belt?
Well, there was two other kids in my weight class, and so I fought both of them, and I won twice, and I won the belt.
Oh, but that was exciting. I see you got a lot of medals here too. Now, is this to show that you participated? This coach, is this how they get these when they do they get this when they win?
Well, normally when you're competing, they'll give they'll give the winner and the loser medals. But is that your silver gloves one?
No, that one's the national one.
That's his national one. He got that one for winning. But normally, due to the amateur level, they like to give both competitors, since it's individual sports, both competitors will get a medal or a trophy. But in this case, he went undefeated throughout the Silver Gloves champion. Probably the biggest tournament for his age group in the nation. So he is the baddest guy at his age and his weight in the nation right now.
Now, do they have to go through you say in a weight class, or they got to be, and plus the age?
Age, weight class, and experience level. When you're open class, you can only get, if you're an open class fighter, that's the only way that you can move into the regionals and then the national level for competition. And
now, the older he gets, the more it's going to be tougher, the more he does it, right? Or
I believe so. The competition level always increases. There's always more kids that get involved as they get a little bit older. But right now, Marcus has definitely put in the hard work, and he should be a front runner for as long as he competes. He puts in the hard work, so we should see this again.
Now, Marcus, you got to be on a special diet, don't you?
Yeah, it's not a lot of sugars or anything, not a lot of candy, not a lot of pop or anything like that. It's mostly just regular stuff like protein and stuff like that.
As you can see by Marcus, you want to stand up for a minute just for a second? This is his outfit, what he has to wear, and that's quite an outfit. I'm proud of you for what you're doing. Sit down there, Marcus. I think you should be congratulated. You're doing a great job, because I'll tell you one thing. As they say, the future of any sport is now.
Yep.
Because like I say, it's just like I say, well, Coach, I want to ask you a serious question. What do you think of wrestling?
What do I think of?
I know you must think it's phony a lot.
Oh, are you talking about big time wrestling?
Yes.
Actually, I think that the competition level and the athleticism in there is tremendous. I think even though they put on a show, I think that it's something that it's for entertainment, but I do believe these guys are pure athletes as well.
They have to work out in the gym.
Yeah, most definitely, and they take a beating. You know, when you talk about those kind of guys, and they have interviews with them beyond the sport, it is no joke. These guys incur injuries, and it's a demanding sport.
What's your record now? Was it, you said 9-6?
Yes. Yeah, I'm 9-6. 9 wins, 6 losses. Yeah, I've been doing this for 4 years.
Did you, now how many matches do you have go in a year's time?
Well, it's all different. Like my first year I had 8 matches. My second year I had like 4, and it's all different. Like it depends on if you can get a fight or.
So
if
yeah,
somebody
you might
fights.
say, as the years go by, it's either, is it decrease or increase as the years go by, Coach?
It depends on the matchups because sometimes there might be guys his age, his weight that are around here, and during just the match bouts that you get set up from different gyms around the state, there might not be a guy his age or his weight or his experience, so he might have to go 6 or 9 months without a bout, or we could find 3 bouts within 6 months. It's just all dependent on what's out there as far as the competition.
Now, Renee, you said you were a boxer one time?
Well, yeah, I went. I never actually competed. You know, my father wouldn't let me because I was heavier. He didn't want me going in there with the bigger kids.
Oh.
So I went and trained, but I remembered where I went, and that's why I took him back there.
Took a lot of work, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, watching these kids go through a lot of training.
Yes, sir.
You know, boxing is, you know, folks, is not an easy sport. It's true that they have boxers and wrestlers, but you don't hear it too much anymore, like you, because the boxer, well, they always say, well, the wrestler has a favor of the boxer because, you know, he's got these gloves on. Not really. You could feel one of those punches real easily. And believe me, don't tell me you can't, because you can. Tell me, it'd be like, remember Cassius Clay or Muhammad Ali, how he used to call his rounds?
Yep.
Yes.
You're going to be like that, or are you going to say, I don't know, 3 rounds, I'm going to win this in 3? Or you think that you were going to get that when you turn pro?
I think I can get it more when I turn pro. Not now because it's just
It's only 3-round fights now.
Yeah,
So.
it's too early to tell, but once you get the pros, like they say, you do that much.
He's still developing his punching power too. At such a
Is
young
he?
age, he's tremendous punching power already. He's got a lot of skills, but I'm sure once he gets his older man strength, he'll be able to start calling things out a little bit more.
How many kids do you coach, Scott?
Right now, I think there is on any given day between 15 to 30 kids that walk in at Azteca Boxing Club. And I also do outside work, just kind of freelance. I work with some of the MMA guys also that need hand.
Now,
need
where are you
handwork.
located, Coach?
At Azteca Boxing Club, and then I do freelance work out in Ortonville, Anytime Fitness out there. Yep.
Very interesting, no? You know, they say boxing is not an easy sport to learn. It's true that, you know, you can get hurt easily. You can get like I say, a swelling of the eye. You won't get cauliflower ears because wrestlers get that. But you know, it's funny how boxing is never an easy sport. You know, I don't think I wouldn't want to be hit by one of these things, you know. I'm afraid I'd be knocked out for sure. Tell me this, have you ever had any kid complain about the training, Coach?
Yes, but the way that we put it out is that I explained to the kids that if you want to win your bouts, you win them outside of the ring. With that, I think that adds a little bit of inspiration. And if I see the kids starting to slack off, I myself do the workouts with them so that way they can't complain. Right now I'm 35, so if I can get down and I can do all the push-ups, the sit-ups, and do everything else with them, then these young men should be able, and young women, should be able to
You got
stand
women
up.
boxers too, huh?
Yes. Yep, we have in and out of the gym about three young ladies, and I also coach another young lady out in that Anytime, just kind of my freelance out there. So, yep, there's still a presence of female boxers that are looking forward to it.
Tell me this, but what did you really want to be when you grow up? I mean, you got to think about your future because you're in about 5th or 6th grade now?
6th grade.
Okay. you got to be thinking about you're going to go to college or
Yeah, I want to go to college. I actually want to go to college for cars. I love cars, so I want to build cars and stuff like that. I mean, I like boxing too, but when I'm older, I'd rather be like build cars up and stuff like that.
because one of these days, you know, you can't continue your whole life boxing because number one, you got to, like I say, you got to have some kind of schooling behind you that you know that even everybody knows that for a fact.
Well, this is a moment where I'm going to have to pipe up. Marcus is quite a bit of a little renaissance man himself. He's on the honor roll. He also plays the bass. Little known secret about him. So he's a musician, and he's, like I said, he's on honor roll. So you know he has the ability to take it wherever he wants in life.
The grades are important in any kind of boxing, isn't it?
Yeah, most definitely. Where we're at, we have the same kind of system that they do at schools. If you don't have passing grades, you're no longer invited to the gym, so you have to keep your grades up. That is part of the Azteca program, the youth enrichment program. We believe that kids need to keep the grades up, have proper discipline, no street fights, no bullying, anything like that, or else you're not invited, because it's a very close-knit family, and we like to keep those morals and high standards of our young boxers.
That's good. Tell me this one, Marcus. You know, you've grown up a lot, and I'll tell you one thing, you've probably taken a lot of boxing especially. What made you turn to boxing? Is it just because you like the sport, or just because you like to see somebody get beat up?
I like the sport. It's like pro fighters and stuff. I really like the sport. It's not. I think for me it has nothing to do with watching people get beat up. It's just I really understand it well, and so I really like the sport.
Well, I think it's kind of regional. I think there's a big presence down in Mexico. It's between like boxing and soccer is like pretty much a national sport down there. Then you have the Philippines with Manny Pacquiao and another guy, Nonito Donaire, are huge champions down there. So I think depending on where you're at, I think that there's always great European, Irish boxers. There was always, earlier in the sport, there was always well-known Irish fighters that were tough, mean guys. I think that people see that a hard life also normally kind of tends to bring in those kind of fighters, and whether or not that is guys from Hard Knocks in Ireland, Filipino, Mexican, here in Michigan, not necessarily, because I know that Marcus has a wonderful family, very supportive, he's very good with his education, so he's not a hard knock, but he's just a tremendous athlete that enjoys the sport.
Now, you go along with them, I take it, on these bouts that they go, right? You have to go with them.
Yep, I traveled out to Missouri with him, so I was there with him. We got hotels. We did that on fundraisers and donations because like I said, this is a nonprofit organization. So it was completely done with the support of the community that believes in what we're doing. So that's how we were able to go ahead and fund me going out there and traveling with him.
Well, in about a couple of minutes, we're going to break away and going to have the coach and have Marcus give us a little technique what goes on around. So let's take a couple of minutes away until we get set up for what's going on, okay? We'll see you in a couple of minutes, folks. All right, this is Ray McAllister. We had just had, as you can see, Marcus and his coach are going to have a little sparring process, right, Coach?
We're just working on a little technique here, simple combinations, a little defensive movement, head work, stuff like that. This is the kind of stuff you'll see in the gym.
And the bobbing and the dancing is all part of boxing, right?
Yes, footwork, it all starts at your feet. If you don't have good footwork, you're just a standing target. So you got to be able to move in and out, and that's Marcus' specialty. He's got really great footwork.
Well, okay, take it away, Coach. We're going to see how these guys...
One more. 1, 2.
Just think if those were solid blows, folks, you would be able to feel them. Boxing is considered a part of dancing, weaving, watch your where the glove is coming, because you got to stop it in the middle of everything. If these were to connect, you could be knocked out, or you could have a count of 10, because you do have a count of 10 to win your match. And sometimes 3 minutes seems like forever.
Big two.
Oh, look at that one.
Big two.
Oh man,
One more time. So
that's good, Coach. You know, a coach I noticed, you know, what is a rabbit punch? Have you ever heard of that?
a rabbit punch is pretty much a legal punch when you're reaching around and hit somebody in the kidneys. And it feels bad. I was recently doing some sparring, and I got rabbit punch, and I'm still sore from getting hit in the kidneys about a week ago.
Tell me this one, Marcus, over here. Yeah, did you felt he was about one of your opponents, didn't you?
Yeah, well, we always try to improve on your punching power, so we try to hit as hard as we can and get better with it, and your speed. So yeah, it was a little work we did.
How much do you weigh,
Well, at this tournament I was fighting at 100. Right now I'm fighting at 106.
106.
Yes.
Coach, what is the heaviest person has to be for it to become? Is he considered? Boxers is on the ring, is the weight class, isn't it, or?
Well, the heaviest person that I work with right now, he started out with me at 295.
295.
295, and this guy is one of the guys I work with the freelance, Jerry the Moose Watterson. They call him the Moose. He does the MMA stuff, and he is a tremendous puncher, southpaw, and he actually separated my ribs one day sparring.
Oh.
So another casualty, or just another part of the trade that sometimes I got to take some licks myself. But
Don't they have to wear a mask? There's usually a mask involved.
the headgear for
Yes.
the amateur level, yes.
That's what I thought.
Yep, but with my MMA guys, since they don't use headgear in the ring or in the cage, they don't use headgear when they spar. So some of them do, but Moose does not. When we're working with these guys, yes, whenever they do any kind of sparring, we want to keep them as safe as possible. So yes, I'll use a headgear at this level.
What's the average length of a person trained? How long does he have to be in the gym?
That is all dependent. That is all dependent on the individual. Some people take it very quickly, take to the sport very quickly. They're natural athletes. Other people could use a year to 2 years. It depends. When I first started, it took me about 9 months to a year to get ready for a bout.
Wow.
It's a patient game. So, with especially at this level, working with the younger people, you don't want to put them in a position to where they're going to get hurt. So you want to make sure that they have their defense, their handwork, their footwork, their head movement. You try to tighten up their game as much as possible before you put them in any kind of position where they could get hurt.
Tell me this much, Coach. I've heard the expression shadow boxing. What is that? You want to demonstrate some shadow boxing for me?
Shadowboxing is where you just shadowboxing is where you just do it like in front of a mirror so you can see like yourself how you do it. So it's just like this. So, you just move.
Describe some of the punches that he's throwing right now, Coach.
When you have your lead hand and your lead foot, what you want to do basically in boxing is to have your power hand and your power foot behind you. So if you're right-handed, you want to have your right foot behind. So that way you can pop out. When he shoots out his left hand right now, that's his jab. That's a straight. A 3 is coming across his body in a hooking motion, and an uppercut from that side, we call it a 5. So it's coming up. So if he throws a straight 2, so odd and even all on one side, a straight 2 that's his power shot, straight right hand. A hook from that side would be a 4, and an uppercut from that side would be a 6. Every coach calls them a little bit different. Those are the numbers and the sequence that I normally call them. If he is on the defensive measure and he catches my jab with his right hand, that would be a catch, and then it would be a parry with his front hand, his left hand, and he would return. If he sat under a punch, that'd be sitting. If he rolled his shoulder out to get out to the outside of a punch, that'd be slips.
Now, the rounds are 3 minutes long, right?
No. That is dependent on, because with the younger guys, it's not as demanding. So they'll be anywhere between 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, all the way up to 3 minutes, depending on the class, how much experience they have, and the age. So We like to slowly wean them into the sport, not be too demanding, and we want them to have good technique during the whole round. So that's why sometimes it's a little bit less time, especially with these younger guys.
Tell me this one. What is that? I see them when they're in the corner resting for about a minute before they go back into the second round. Now, what is this thing that they're always spitting in the can? With the water, is it, or?
Yeah, well, in between rounds, they'll have their mouth guard in, Marcus. They'll have their mouth guard in. We'll take the mouth guard out. We'll rinse it off because the saliva will build up, and you know sometimes you start getting a dry mouth, and you just really don't want these guys to be choking on their own saliva. So,
Right,
so we rinse it out for them, give them a chance to get a couple deep breaths. If they do have any spit or they got a cut in their mouth by any means, they can spit out the blood, and it gives them a chance to really just open up their lungs and concentrate on what we're trying to talk to them, what we're trying to walk them through.
Tell me this, Mike. Have you ever had to take one of your kids out because he got hurt too much, or?
The Amateur Boxing Commission, the USA Boxing Commission, is tremendous at the refereeing as far as keeping the kids safe. If a kid takes a couple shots and their head pops up a couple of times, the ref will double check, and it's called a standing 8 count. They'll count to 8. They'll look at the fighter's eyes. If the fighter has, you know, a look to where they don't want to go anymore, they can just look away and tell the referee, "I don't want to go anymore." But if you look at the ref, give him a couple head nods, touch your gloves in front of the ref, that tells the ref, "I'm good to go. He just caught me a couple times, but I still want to continue."
Well, actually, the referee has the final say, not you do, right?
If I do believe that somebody is putting too much work on one of my guys, I have the option. Just like in the movies, you can throw the white towel in. I can wave it into, I don't even have to throw it, I could wave it into the ropes. I could signal in between rounds if one of my fighters is hurt and, like, say they hurt their ankle or their hand and it doesn't really show to the ref, I can ask my fighter, "Hey, are you okay?" If they decline and they no longer feel that they can compete, I'll just call the fight, I'll just wave my hands to the ref, and he'll understand that
actually, you have the final say, right? Or
I believe it's a teamwork, even though it's an individual sport. At any time, if he was injured and I couldn't tell if he took a shot or any of my other fighters took a shot, they could tell the ref in the middle of the round, "I'm done." They could wave it off. The ref could wave it off. I could wave it off. So even though it's an individual sport, it's still a very strong kind of team community in there. Everybody has to be on the same page.
now
and
the
all
regular
working.
knockout is count of 10, right?
Yeah.
Or TKO.
Well, a technical knockout could be a little bit different, but a knockout would be if you fall down and you cannot rise by the 10 count. That would be a regular knockout.
Okay.
Yep.
You know, Coach, I tell you one thing, you're doing a good job of teaching this young man. I tell you, he's he just looked like a skinny little kid when I saw him, and I tell you one thing, I almost hate to fight with him because I'd be scared of.
Well, the whole thing is not to give these kids the power to be scared or feared, but to empower them. Marcus, I know he is not a bully. He does not take this out of any kind of context and use it against anybody else, but he's a gentle soul, and until he gets into the ring and gets ready to compete, you don't see the side of him. But I know that he has a different kind of confidence because life is going to hit him harder than anybody else in the ring. And if he can learn to get back up, and if he can learn to continue during boxing, then he can learn to continue during college, during school, during life, during anything else. So this is what we're really trying to do.
That's good, Coach. I think you're a marvelous coach for taking these kids and showing what they're doing. Because I tell you one thing, it's not too often, folks, you see people giving up their time and their effort to come down and show your young kids. Because number one, I could say any kind of sport you go out, either wrestling, football, basketball, you got to be in the best shape ever to be able to do things like that. Because I'll tell you one thing, it's always good to see your good mark. I think I'm gonna see you probably. Hopefully, I'm still around and see you on TV and get one of those others. Because I'll tell you one thing, you got a thing that you like doing. And that's the main thing. Because if you don't like doing it, you wouldn't be doing it. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Right, Marcus?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Marcus is exceptional. We have a lot of exceptional kids, around his age because for what you see with Marcus right now, there are other kids. We went to Silver Gloves. There was 12 state champions out of there. In the studio, you can't see him, but there's another state champion here, Delano. He's one of Marcus's training partners. So all the hard work that comes in with Marcus is also with his training partners. If he doesn't have good sparring partners at his level, then he will never find out his true capability.
That's true.
So there's a bunch of little guys in there: Miguel, Javier, Delano, Panky. There's a lot. There's so many to name that are right around his age, right around his group, that are really tremendous boxers. We have a wonderful group of kids.
This is Ray McAllister. I want to thank Renee for bringing his son down, Marcus. I thank you, Coach, for coming down because if you ever want to learn things about boxing, why don't you give me a call here at the studio and I'll get a hold of Scott if you have a kid that likes to box. Give me a call and I will return the call to here, Scott. So thank you for watching Around the World with Ray. And I tell you, we want to wish you good luck. And Coach, you've done a really marvelous job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, friend. See you next time with Around the World with Ray.